people listening will think about investing being associated with high net worth individuals. How much money do you have to invest to make it worthwhile, Sharon?
Well, if you haven't got money and if you don't know how to deal with money in this world, then you've got a handicap. It's difficult to think about doing anything without understanding how money works. So this is about guidance. It's not necessarily about investing or saving. It's about good money principles a lot of the time.
I'd agree with that, and certainly, we're not endorsing the advice, but all of the advisors have got to have met the competence standards and be working with an approved firm on the island before they can participate in Saturday, but they're not there to say put your money into this and here you are, sign on the dotted line. This is actually about giving people guidance about how to manage their finances and things they might want to think about. So I'd say no matter how much or how little, it's worth coming and having a chat. After all, you can be talking to a professional advisor and it's not going to cost you a penny.
And this comes back as well, you're talking about the sort of education nature of it, to something I think we probably talked about last time. It just feels like this is the sort of thing that should be taught to kids from a very young age, because this is essentially, as you were saying, Sharon, it's so important to have this knowledge through life, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Financial capability is not taught in schools, but it will be on Saturday at Ballacameen.
Well
and
done.
More to the point, on Saturday at Ballacameen, as well as a series of seminars, and I'll go through those in a minute, but for teenagers, there's an opportunity to discover fortunes, which is to take part in an interactive game, and there are real prizes here. I mean, we're talking...
Well, we have some earbuds prizes and other prizes. Apparently,
earbud,
lots of other
headphones.
prizes.
There's going to be lots of prizes for everybody.
Beth doesn't know what earbuds
I thought you meant
are.
those cotton buds.
No,
Honestly,
not
I was like,
cotton
oh dear.
It's going to be fun. And what we're looking for is 8 teams of teenagers who want to come down and spend an hour or so and compete against each other to see who is best at discovering fortunes. So find the prizes.
Just before we go on to the sort of list of different things that's happening on Saturday, with regards to putting your money into things, I remember having a conversation with someone not too long ago about specifically women wanting to invest in more ethical companies. Is it possible to sort of go and speak to someone and say, this is what I want to do, I want to make sure I know the background of the companies, that my money is going to a good place?
I mean, that's probably more specific advice, but there are ethical funds that you can actually find out about and invest in if you want to. But as in anything, it should form part of your overall financial plan. It shouldn't be something that you went all into completely. I mean, we started talking about shoes and watches and all sorts of things earlier, but quite seriously, when it does come to investing, one of the most important kind of considerations you need to have is liquidity, and whatever you do should be regulated. It should be something that you can is liquid and something that is you're capable of knowing that no one's going to run off with it.
Yes, there's no point at all in having your money stuck somewhere where you can't actually get any money back when you need it. So just being rich in terms of, I've got lots of money invested in property, for example. If you want to go out for a meal and you've got no money in the bank, the fact that you've got 2 properties doesn't actually help you at all. So you've got to make sure you've got enough short-term money as well as longer-term money. But on the subject of, actually ethical investing, I'll give you a bit of a spoiler now. I wasn't going to talk about this, but as part of World Investor Week, we are also going to be launching as part of Pension Matters, which you recall, we did a consumer survey, which we're launching the results of that, and it was phenomenal. We got 801 responses, which for a small island is more than... We were looking for 260 to be a representative sample of working age people, and we got 801. But on ethical investing, we did ask some questions. So just in terms of people investing their pensions, 52% of people were interested in investing their pensions in environmental projects. 12% were still interested after finding out that the return could be lower. And of those 12%, 59% of them were interested if 59% were interested if it was only a little lower, and 12% if it was a lot lower.
So they'd still invest even though it was a
Yeah.
lower return.
And similarly for community projects as well. So from a community point of view, 47% of Isle of Man respondees were interested in investing in community-based projects. 60% would invest if they were getting a slightly lower return, and 10% would still invest even if it could be quite a lot lower.
Aren't we decent people?
Yeah, but let's hope that whoever would be looking at something like that would look very much for where is this fund regulated before you do anything? You know,
Yes.
we've heard enough
Yes,
bad stories about funds.
Yeah,
you know.
ethical investing is great, but you have to make sure that it actually, same as any other investment, isn't a scam.
Yeah, make sure it's regulated.
And that's something that will be covered on Saturday at this Family Finance Day. Tell us then the overview, Claire, of how it's going to work and what's happening.
Okay, well, basically we have a series of 4 free presentations. We're kicking off the day at 9:30, which seems a bit cruel, but it was so that the kids could get to their Saturday jobs. So 9:30 we're doing a seminar on initial coin offerings, what's all the fuss. So that's what are initial coin offerings in crypto? What, if you want to get involved, what are the red flags? How do you stay safe? What are the pros? What are the cons? It's very balanced. It's no one taking a view, but obviously pointing out that most of these aren't regulated. Then at 10:10, we're doing Investment Matters, which is top tips for a smart investor. And I could give you the top tips, but that might spoil Saturday. Then we've got at 11:20 Scam Man. So this is an advisor who's coming over specially from the UK for it.
Sounds like a superhero himself, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yes. Well,
Or an
I like the
anti-superhero.
idea. I don't know where his underpants will be. They might be on top. They might be underneath. We don't know. But Scam Man,
He's 6'6". He's
how
got
to
the way
be
it
how to be scam aware and how to protect yourself. And then finally, we're at 12 o'clock. We're finishing the seminars with Pension Matters. So that's a rerun of a really slightly updated version of the presentations that were done before the summer, and they were well received then. Then we've got our personal finance guidance throughout the morning. So people obviously have to go on and book for the seminars, but also for the free sessions, the 30-minute sessions. We've got over 50 available, so that will be good. Then 10:30 is the Discover Fortunes games. So who can win the Discover Fortunes crown? Maybe we'll have a crown. That would be quite good. And then all morning you get the joy of meeting the regulator over refreshments. So if you want to be served a cup of tea by Karen Badgerow, or sit down for a chat, and she'll be there, as will other people from the authority. And we'll have a lot of literature there, and you can just meet the regulator, find out a little bit more about what we do, and have a cup of tea and a bicky with us.